Welcome to another episode of Hermit Crab Care 101. So last summer, my son won this hermit crab way back there at science camp. Brought him home. And I had no idea what the level of care required for these guys was. Here we have a 29-gallon tank with about 100 pounds of play sand in it. I found out that my hermit crabs love to climb, and so we have the little cocoa hut in it, which they used to love hanging out in. And now I'm gonna add this. Now this is actually a hammock for reptiles, but I'm going to adapt it for use in the hermit crab Crabitat. The first step was to soak it in some salt water. Number one, to make it more appealing to the crabs, and number two, to keep it from molding as much. If you see on here, the humidity is at 87%. My humidity runs around somewhere in the high 80s, low 90s. And because of all that humidity, things tend to mold. Now, mold is okay for hermit crabs because they actually have it a lot in their natural environments. But it can be a little bit unsightly, so that's why we treat the things that we put in there with salt water. Now, I plan on hanging this in the back there. See that black strip? That's actually the heater. I've been told that the hammock does not affect the heat in there. It's currently 82 in there and it runs in the low 80s. So hopefully this temperature will remain the same once I hang it. My hammock came with these little tie things as well as the suction cups. I'm going to tie these around the edges up here so that I can hang it out of the aquarium, and put the suction cups on the back side, on the outside. Okay, now they're hung. Now I don't know what this material is right here. If I had to do this again, I would probably use some twine because this material right here kind of destroyed my fingers. And I wasn't pleased with it. Our next step, I'm gonna pull the lid off. My lid is actually a very cheap DIY lid. What I did was I cut some corrugated plastic. It's about $3 or $4 at Michael's, and it cuts really easily, and I put some Velcro on it to attach in. I found that that wasn't enough to keep the humidity up, so I added some press and seal on top of it, and it lifts up real easily. Okay, so I have it hung it now. Now, as you can see, I have one up in this corner, one up in this corner, and then I ended up hanging a piece of twine and attaching another one in the middle because it was kind of sagging down. And I ended up moving my freshwater pool forward a little bit. Now, my lid does not particularly care for these extra little bumps in here. It doesn't mind the twine so much, but the weird little plastic strips that it came with, my lid does not like. So I'm gonna take a pencil and mark those areas and cut little divots with an X-Acto knife. There's one, and there's the other. That's one thing I love about this corrugated plastic. If you need to add something, you can easily cut it to what suits your needs. Now, as you can see, the twine didn't mind the plastic at all. It fits down very nicely without having to cut a divot there. So I say if you are using one of these hammocks for this purpose, definitely do not go with these plastic things that they provide. I would actually go with twine instead.